Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Brandon Smith thing. Like, I get what Buzz is saying about how he shouldn't have come out and talked about how he's ready to win something in a different jersey. But then again, he's also got to hype up the fans on his approach to the club. I don't know.
It's an interesting way of looking at it.
I think the way I see it is there's so many team changes happening now more than ever, and not for the next year, for 2 seasons, 3 seasons later, where it's like, are we really going to get offended by every single player saying something?
I'll tell you what it is. It's not the fact that it's about getting offended. When you look at how it's been played out, yeah, very public. Look, at the end of the day, he made a decision. He's going to Roosters, whatever. Good on him. All the best.
He's going in 23.
23. The problem I have with it is when you're contracted for another 12 months, now you've just gotten done taking cocaine and whatnot
That's
on a video.
fair. Yeah, that's
the
fair.
club stood by you. Yeah, you copped a hefty fine, but the club stood by you. And then you go and talk about how you dream to win a comp for another team while you're still contracted.
Yeah, fair.
Look, you have those endeavours, no problem. I think to come out with you still got another 12 months, I think is where you draw the line.
See,
also, it's very rich that people agree with Buzz, because Buzz is a bit of a lunatic. But yeah, I've got to agree with him here. I think it's very disrespectful in that aspect.
So I don't know if it is, because here's the thing, right? It's like the whole kick-out situation with him wearing the dog shirt. All right, he shouldn't have worn the shirt, right? But either way, they've signed on to that club for that year. They've got to show the club that they're coming to, I'm all in some sort of statement. But they've also got to show the club that they're dedicated to for the next year. Hey, I'm with you guys. I'm not just thinking about 23. So I understand both sides of the coin. It's a tough situation for them because, yeah, they are going to be pledging their allegiance to a different club. But you'd know more than anyone, if you've ever played in a sports team, when you're playing in that team and you care about the game, that's all you're thinking about, is how are we going to win together?
I agree. I think there's just it's a mentality thing as well. So
yeah, that's fair.
It's the whole coming into playing the next 12 months and the impact you're actually going to have. Are you actually going to be all in that you're talking about?
Okay, but
that's the part. So that's why clubs are concerned. So Storm are like, well, we want to release this guy immediately because of the way he's going about.
Okay,
business.
then this is my statement. Then NRL stopped the signing so early. You see what I'm saying? Like,
they got to figure out a way. It has to be overhaul.
That's my problem then. Because if you're going to make these players, if you're going to allow these players to sign on to a different club a year, 2 years in advance, then like I don't think it's the players' fault. I think it's the NRL's fault. Don't let them sign or have a clause in their contract that states it has to remain hush-hush until 6 months out. Or they're not allowed to sign until 6 months out. Because, bro, like I get clubs want to get in as quick as possible. And that's exactly what Gould's doing with the Dogs. He's trying to get all these players as quickly as possible to sign on for 23, right? We've got all these signings, and I keep forgetting that they're not for this year, they're for the coming year. But that's the struggle, is like, okay, if the NRL is going to allow that to happen, how can they not expect talk from the players? It's frustrating as anything for a club, 100%.
Yeah, it's a good point. However, I just think it's very circumstantial. Like, I'll give you an example. Same thing. Player from Storm's gone to Dolphins, Felice Kafusi. Now, he's made it clear he's gone back to Queensland. He's going to help the new team. He's their first signing. Yeah. Technically a marquee signing. Do I think he's a marquee player? No. But he's going there in 2 years' time. But there hasn't been anything controversial done with Felice Kafusi prior to him leaving or going out in the public. So because of it's a loyalty thing as well. Because Melbourne have stood by Smith. I'm talking about this particular case. In general, it needs an overhaul. Yeah. Because Kikau wearing the shirt is not an issue if it wasn't leaked. It wouldn't have been known of if it wasn't leaked. For all we know, Reid Marnie's worn the shirt at Dogs.
Well, it would have been known of because they were going to release a photo the day after the Panthers parade.
So it was meant to be a week or 2 weeks, like release a statement, he's coming. Yeah. But they would have released a photo.
Sure, but that's what I'm saying. That's my issue, Stat, is that these guys, they're not old guys. They're young, right? These are young players. They've got social media. Sometimes they do dumb stuff. So you can't rely on the players to do the right thing every time like old mate did with the Dolphins, right? He hasn't said anything. Kafusi, right? Kafusi hasn't said anything. He hasn't done anything stupid. Good on him. But you can't expect all these players to do it.
No.
Mate, these players can't go out one night without doing something stupid on the town, and you're expecting them to either keep it a secret or not say something dumb. No, that's going to be on the NRL.
Okay.
Or give them some social media training. And I'm not saying a 60-minute course that they're doing at TAFE or whatever. Give them proper social media guidelines with social media marketing people.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do in the NFL. That's what they do in the NBA, MLB. They've got social media people that help guide them and direct them in how they present their social media platforms.
I think it's very circumstantial. That's my thing. The whole thing needs an overhaul. We've talked about that, but there's more to it. Like, if you got to look at it from Melbourne Storm's perspective. If I've brought in a kid from Townsville who I think they were the only club at the time really wanted to take a punt, developed him, made him the player he is, made him the man he is, made him super relevant to the side, won comps, gone international. Okay, it's very clear that, and it was well known, he probably wasn't going to stick around at Melbourne, and he was going to move on from there. Fair enough. But then after getting done with what he got done with, to then say, let me pull on listen, if he goes, I'm going to pull on Roosters jersey 23, no problem. I've signed, that's where I'm going to commit, I'm going to go. All right, good. But if you're still contracted and you've already put in your mind, I can't wait to win at another club, or I've still got 12 months, and we're not talking like Melbourne Storm is the Canterbury Bulldogs of 2021. Correct. We're talking like Melbourne Storm who are top elite Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
The focus then shifts from him playing well in 22 to I just can't wait to pull on a Roosters jumper in 23.
Okay, then put a clause in your release contract.
I think it's not about the contract though, because contracts make nothing. This is where I come in about the NRL needing a whole overhaul.
And that's what I'm saying.
So it's very middle ground. I'm not sitting here saying, Brent Smith's a jerk. Or I'm not sitting saying Brent Smith is the man. It's a very middle ground. It can be done better. Anything can be done better.
It can be done better. You're 100% right. I just think people need to lay off a bit. Like, mate, I think he's right in saying I can't wait to win with Roosters. That's what you hope as a Roosters fan. And I understand what you're saying. From Melbourne's perspective, it's rubbish. It's like, bro, you got another year with us. Stop talking about your future. But all these boys have to talk about their future. Like, look at the boys coming in 23 to the Dogs. They're all talking about what they're going to do at the Dogs. Ado Carr was talking about it a year ago. I can't wait to come to the Dogs. I can't wait to make them a winning club again. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's a very grey. It's not. There's no direct yes. No. It's very direct.
Stato.